Welcome back to the series where I test if free plugins are actually as good as paid plugins in a way too elaborate yet still inconclusive way. So I invited two producers to make a track using the same 3 free plugins as always. Let's figure out how and if we can use these plugins in our productions. That doesn't really have anything to do with the video. That's just the theme song. Welcome back to the producers to free plugins.
Hi music creators, I'm Tateshi Starwalker from Modern Composer Dojo.
Yeah, welcome to the
This one was originally intended to be kind of an orchestral edition, but I don't think all of us, including me, managed to do something too orchestral. So let's look at the plugins we're going to use. First off, we have Sinful Orchestra. This one's a big deal, at least if you ask Matthijs Hebly.
Hey, Matthijs here. Welcome to the Free Producer 3 Free Plugins Challenge. I chose Sinful Orchestra, obviously. Sylvain chose Spitfire Audio Labs, very good choice. Tateshi chose Dynamo from Sound Factory, lovely choice. Links are in the description, I'm sure.
It is a physical modeling synth, used to be a very big deal. Sounds pretty good, but doesn't need a lot of storage space, basically none, because it's a synth. You get many different instruments as patches, and you get some control over how they sound. That's the first freebie. Secondly, we're going to use Orchestral Tools Dynamo from Sound Factory. It's a percussion library with some orchestral sounds. It has something like this, or something like this, or something like this. And the last plugin we're going to use is Spitfire Labs. I suspect you got to know Spitfire Labs already. It has many different instruments and we didn't decide on a specific one. The task was to use at least one Spitfire Labs instrument. So maybe you want the piano or something more orchestral or something more of a texture. There's many options. Now let's have a look at Tateshi Starwalker, aka Modern Composer Dojo.
Hi music creators, I'm Tateshi Starwalker from Modern Composer Dojo. Thank you so much for inviting me to this amazing project. So let me break down my track. So this is something I made. Let me show you the first part of the track. I wrote the song in the style of cartoon animations like Tom and Jerry. I wrote a demo like this. It was a sketch that I came up with first. I'll show you the essential parts of this track. So first of all, this is a trumpet from Sinful Orchestra. The most important thing that I had to do is writing this pitch bend. Without it, it sounds so synthesizer, you know? So I wrote this pitch bend for imperfection. Sounds more natural, right? The next library I used was Orchestral Tools Dynamo. It's a collection of percussion. They sound fantastic and I can't believe they are free. So I used the Dynamo for piatti, snare drum, hi-hat, wood ensemble, dun 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 dun, and timpani and a grandcaster or bass drum. So they support the rhythm of the track. In context, lastly, I used Labs percussion. It has interesting percussion toys as well as drums. They make this song fun. Since Sinful Orchestra is a synthesizer, well, they sound dead. So I did some sound design to make it sound more natural. On trumpet, I inserted a Neve channel strip and also a saturation. since orchestra needs room, I added this Vienna Mir Pro 3D on almost every track. Mir Pro 3D is a reverb that enables you to place your instrument in a 3D space. For example, the trumpet sounds like this without any reverb. With Mir Pro, so remember, reverb is a very big part of orchestral instruments. That's it. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you, Tateshi. That was cool. We're going to get more into it in the recap segment at the end of the video. This is my recap code. I'm not convinced I really like Sinful Orchestra. I tried to write something using it, but didn't spark a lot of inspiration for me. So I went and listened through some of my old ideas, and I found this one that I made earlier this year when I experimented with some lo-fi techniques. You can check out in this video. I found this idea. And I decided, let's do that. Just better. Honestly, I don't know if it got better, but I definitely did it again. Now let's have a look at what Shameless Plugs, aka Matthijs Hebly, did.
First, let me show you how I use the plugins. Let's start with the drums, which I played on my MIDI keyboard using Spitfire Audio Labs percussion. Next up, the Dynamo library from Sound Factory with the dun-dun and the djembe. Next up, Spitfire Audio Labs Autograph Grand. Next up, Sinful Orchestra Stopped Horns. Okay, that concludes this part of the video with the plugins that formed part of the challenge. Let's finish with the whole song, the whole mix. And thank you for listening, and see you next time. Came out of your corner, you tried to corner me. You said you had a warning, an impending doom decree. You thought that I would listen, would heed your words carefully. But with all that has arisen, you showed your true self revealingly. Tell me no lies, for truth will soon catch up with you. Tell me no lies, the truth will come down hard on you. Tell me, baby. you. Tell me no lies. The truth will come down part of you. Tell me, baby. But now all that has arisen will pass away eventually. I could tell that something's missing from your faint dramatic irony. Maybe you'll fool some people, but you can't fool everyone you see. So rush back to your hole and corner, whence you came so brazenly. Tell me no lies, for truth will soon catch up with you. Tell me no lies, the truth will come down hard on you. Tell me, baby, tell me no lies, for truth will soon catch up with you. Tell me no lies, the truth will come down hard on you. Tell me, baby.
That was also cool, Matthijs. Thank you very much. I said it before. Recap code. End of the video. Recap segment. All right. Back in my DAW. So I started out with this Sinful Orchestra violin. Added this Sinful Orchestra viola. And honestly, a way to make it sound a lot better quite fast is just to add a good sounding room reverb. I went with the Studio One stock open air. I think that's pretty nice. I added Spitfire Audio's Autograph Grand. And then I used some dynamo stuff to make that break we heard in the demo. I wanted to do that, so I used dynamo for that. I also added the same convolution reverb on pretty much every track, just to give it kind of an orchestral sound, make it sound like it is all inside of the same room. And yeah, what's going on here? I added a lot more Sinful Orchestra, like a violin section, cellos, horns, bass, double bass, you know, some labs, mandolin. Working with the mod wheel, you can see the automation on this parameter. Flutes. oboe. Does that sound like oboe? And then I transition into a very mellow part with the autograph grand. And some of the other instruments sprinkled in with some... There's vocals on top of this, and when there's a gap in the vocal section, I sprinkle a little bit of other instruments in there. And then I make this little arpeggio using the same instruments, a flute and a violin section. Cello's also playing, and the double bass is also playing. And then I'm fading in the mandolin again. And yeah, as you heard, the oboe later takes over a section of this little arpeggio that goes... The arrangement, the track is basically intro with strings, then a verse, and then outro. I know the original idea of this series is that I see if I can make a finished track that I would actually want to release using free plugins or specific free plugins. Not only free plugins, but also free plugins. Can you incorporate them into a finished track that you're going to release? And I struggled. Honestly, I don't know if I would want to release it in this state. I think maybe I would want to take some of the simple stuff and replace it with some sample stuff I might have. Also, I don't know if I would want to stick to a Labs piano. It sounds good, but I think there's others out there that might sound better. So I don't really have a finished track, but I have a demo, and we're going to listen to it. Yeah, the outro went a bit crazy. An interesting detail I could add, at the moment I'm kind of in the mood of not really caring about harmony. In the outro I wanted to give the melody to this kind of weird Labs tape orchestra wood hollow patch. And I'm not really thinking about what specific chords I want to arrange the rest of the instruments to. I just started out with the baritone sax from Sign Factory. And then I added a string section, and I'm not thinking what chords they are, I'm just thinking, does it sound good? Yeah, that was my track. Oh, sorry. Well, welcome to the recap segment. This is at the end of the video where the recap segment is with my recap code. So Tateshi did a very cool composition, and my favorite technique they used was the micro pitch modulation on the trumpet, probably on other instruments as well, very good technique. Personally, I also found that Sinful instruments sometimes felt a bit synthetic, but I didn't think of this technique, and it's a great technique. Also, he used Labs Percussion, very cool library. I can recommend that one as well. He seems to agree with me probably that Sinful isn't the most amazing thing, and if he wanted to do like some professional scoring, probably he might also want to opt for something different. That's just my impression. And now to Matthijs. That was a great production, like a great song. Great guitar playing as well. Personally, my favorite part was the Collab B3 organ parts. I love that sound. Great playing as well. Seems to be the most time-consuming production of the three, and I think that deserves some applause. Also, I think it's very valuable for anybody looking for more free plugins. Just go through Matthijs' segment again. He shows tons of free plugins that you can get. All of the plugins he shows on screen are free. Also, he makes plugins himself, shameless plugs. Check those out. Quick recap of the three instruments. First, we have Sinful Orchestra. I talked about that one a lot already. Good things, physical modeling, doesn't need a lot of space. Bad things, sometimes maybe sounds a bit too synthetic. I think it's a cool tool to use if you not necessarily want to go for a realistic orchestra. Maybe if you want to make it like a synthesizer on purpose. Dynamo, definitely a good library for percussion. I haven't used with percussions in that sense too often, so I had a bit of a hard time to make something interesting. But Sign Factory, I think, has extremely good sound quality and extremely good sounds for the price, which is free. And Labs, yeah, we all know Labs. It's the OG. It's a good tool. It's a good thing. I love the mandolin that I used. Autograph Grand for me is fine from the timbre. Good sound, but it doesn't have enough velocity variety. You can't get a lot of dynamics out of it. Yeah, that's the recap. I don't know about this segment. Thanks again very much to Modern Composer Dojo, aka Tateshi Starwalker. And thanks again very much to Shameless Plugs, aka Matthijs Hebly, for being part of the video. Check out their channels. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe to this channel as well. What do you think about Sinful Orchestra? What do you think about physical modeling versus samples? Leave a comment. That's the video. See you again soon. Bye.